I'm going to let you in on a secret. I've always wanted to be a poet. So I was excited to see Amanda Gorman has a class all about it on Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's best. For just $10 a month, billed annually, a membership with Masterclass gets you unlimited access to every instructor. And you can access Masterclass on your phone, computer, smart TV, or even audio mode. I'm currently taking Amanda Gorman's class to learn the fundamentals of poetry, but there's so much more. You can bring your dream home to life on any budget with Joanna Gaines. Improve your physical and mental well-being with leading gut and brain health experts. And turn your passion into achievements with cultural icon Martha Stewart. And the classes really make a difference. 88% of members feel that Masterclass has made a positive impact on their lives. I've been taking Masterclass for years. Before I could afford to go to TV classes, I learned the fundamentals of TV writing from Masterclass. Every new Masterclass membership comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So don't wait another moment to start your learning journey with Masterclass. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/ratchet. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/ratchet. Masterclass.com/ratchet. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Every January brings you 365 blank pages waiting to be filled. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist, or maybe there's a part of your story you've been wanting to revise. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own life. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create meaningful story that you deserve to live. You listen to this podcast, so you know I am a huge advocate of therapy. I think everyone should get some, including the people that think they don't need it. You, my friend, you may need it the most. BetterHelp makes it easy to get therapy, which I love. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, and serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists anytime at no cost. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/ratchet today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ratchet. When we're trying to make progress, life's curveballs often feel like taking one step forward and 2 steps back. A Chime checking account makes financial progress easier with features like no maintenance fees, fee-free overdraft up to $200, or getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Learn more at chime.com/ratchet. With Chime, you're joining a community with millions of members who are working on financial progress. Chime helps you make progress with fee-free overdraft up to $200. Your next deposit is applied to your balance. Get spotted on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. To date, Chime has spotted over $30 billion. And my favorite part about Chime, they make it easy to access your money with over 50,000 fee-free ATMs. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/ratchet. That's chime.com/ratchet. Chime feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank North America or Stride Bank North America. Members FDIC. Spot Me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-state network ATMs. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who don't identify as either, the Grammys were last night and I fell asleep. You are listening to Ratchet and Respectable. Oh my God. I turned on the TV. I was watching the pre-show for the Grammys, the live from the red carpet. I might have made it 5 minutes and I passed out. And then I woke up and it was like, I don't know, 10:45. I missed Cynthia Erivo performing. I had to go watch it all on YouTube. I missed Cynthia Erivo doing the Quincy Jones tribute. I'm ready to forgive her and move on now. I'm ready. We'll talk about why in a second. I missed Janelle Monae. I had to go watch all this stuff on YouTube. I missed Doechii winning and her amazing speech. Her speech was so good. I woke up in time to see Kendrick he got Song of the Year first. I woke up in time to see Kendrick get his award. He got like 5 Grammys for Not Like Us. And I was like, did you get 5 Grammys for a diss track? Did. But he's like takes his sweet time coming to the stage because his song is playing. And by the time he gets to the mic, it's right at the part of the song where it's like, it's probably A minor. And then like the whole audience sings along with A minor in unison. Like you could hear like the dull roar of it rising from the seats as he's taking to the mic to thank the Grammys and all of Compton, all of LA for his win. I was like, you know what? If I was Drake, I might sue too at this point. I wouldn't have sued before now. But at the point where like, it's one thing, like the song becomes popular and you convince yourself in your head it has to be some sort of payola and some sort of like streaming configuration. Like there's no possible way this song could have been that popular. He was under the delusion that the song did not have the impact that it did. And I was like, sir, you must have never gone to the club. Or maybe they out of respect, like you went to the club and they didn't play the song because, it's about you. But like, if there were any delusions as to the popularity of the song, when they played it at the Grammys and a room full of your peers and music executives, like your colleagues, where they all sang along to a song about you being a pedophile. Like, I wouldn't have sued before now. I would have had a lawsuit filed at 9 a.m. this morning to do something to block this song. That was much. That was much. That was many things. Many things. I don't feel bad for him because, again, like he started this shit. Kendrick was kind of minding his business and Drake came along and poked the bear. And here we are. Now he has 5 Grammys for a diss song against you. And a room of your colleagues and peers are clowning you. I'd cry in the car. Actually, I wouldn't even go outside. I'd go down to my basement and cry on the couch. I don't feel bad for him, but I wouldn't want to be him. Kendrick accepted the award. He wore an all denim outfit to the Grammys last night, a Canadian tuxedo, while he accepted 5 Grammys for a diss song about Drake. And I'm like, hey, Kendrick, hey, I know you don't like this man. I know you genuinely in real life, because this is more than just like rap beef. Like, you genuinely do not fuck with this man. And we don't even know like the real underlying cause of it at this time. But I'm like, Kendrick, you got to let up. At this point, that man got to be close to self-harm. I'm not even playing. You won through and through. You won. You got 5 Grammys off a diss track and a Super Bowl. You won. Let that man be. He deserves it. He did it. He started it. You won. Let it go. It's time to let it go. I'm not mad at him. It's time, Kendrick. It's time. You have won on every level possible. Let it go. I also didn't realize Kendrick had that many Grammys. People were talking about him and Drake online. The conversations about the Grammys have been infuriating. I was reading this back and forth, and somebody was saying that like Kendrick only got picked for the Super Bowl because of this song, because it's the only song that people know by Kendrick. And somebody came back and was like, yo, Kendrick Lamar has like 22 Grammys. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, Kendrick Lamar has 22 Grammys? I know he had a Nobel Prize, but I was like, Kendrick Lamar has 22 Grammys for real? I looked it up. What I read said 21, but I don't know if it's like properly counting all the Grammys from last night. 21, 22, semantics at this point. But I was like, really? Kendrick Lamar has like over 20 Grammys? That's insane. I'm a huge Kendrick fan. I didn't know he had Grammys like that. Go figure. Not poor Drake. Again, he did it to himself. I feel a little bad, just a tiny bit bad. Because he taking hit after hit after hit. And like the biggest hit hasn't even happened yet. A stadium of people, like 50, 60,000 people singing A minor all at the same time. The feed of this is advertised to like hundreds of millions of people around the world. Like Drake ain't gonna be able to leave a damn house. He never could have anticipated this when he decided to like poke the bear with Kendrick. You gotta leave the quiet people alone. They be sitting there in their heads, like thinking about how to be diabolical. Exhibit A. There were good things about the Grammys. Not to say that Kendrick wasn't good. Good black news at the Grammys. Doechii won for Best Rap Album. I'm not gonna lie. I can pick Doechii out of a lineup. I follow her on Instagram. I watch her clips. I've seen videos, but I really can't like quote you lyrics from a Doechii song. I'm rooting for everybody black. I'm happy the black girl won. She was presented her award by Cardi. Cardi calls her name. Doechii loses it at the table, just automatically like bursts into tears. It was a happy cry. But she finally gets up to the stage. She goes up with her mama, who kind of looks like her older sister. But okay, that's not the point. The point is she gets to the microphone and she says that there's only been 2 women who have won Best Rap Album at the Grammys, one being Lauryn Hill, the other being Cardi B. And then she's like, oh, wait, 3. And me. She was real humble about it. It wasn't like a talk your shit moment. But if ever there was one, that was it. I was so happy for her. And then she gave a beautiful message. I love when people get on a microphone and have something to say. I should just play it. It was real like, believe in yourself right from the start. From The Wiz. Did I write it down? I didn't write the whole quote down. She said specifically to black women, you can do it. Anything is possible. Don't allow anybody to tell you different. You are exactly who you need to be. I am a testimony. Can I play this clip? Because it was so beautiful. Like, I was so moved by it.
This category was introduced in 1989, and 2 women have won. Lauryn Hill, 3 women have won. Lauryn Hill, Cardi B, and Doechii. I know that there is some black girl out there, so many black women out there that are watching me right now, and I want to tell you, you can do it. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Don't allow anybody to project any stereotypes on you that tell you that you can't be here, that you're too dark, or that you're not smart enough, or that you're too dramatic, or you're too loud. You are exactly who you need to be right where you are. And I am a testimony. Praise God.
I still haven't seen the Quincy Jones tribute in its entirety. I've seen the snippet. I couldn't find like the full. I think people like it's 12 minutes. People are complaining about how long it was. And I was like, for Quincy Jones, unless it took up the entire telecast of the Oscars, then it wasn't long enough. He died at 91. He gave us conservatively 7 decades of music. Like, what do you mean, like 12, 15, however long it was, minutes was too long for Quincy Jones? That sounds insane. But the Recording Academy hasn't uploaded, at the time I'm recording, the full clip to, I don't know, any of its sites, YouTube specifically. So I had to like parse the performance together. I saw Will Smith open. He did an introduction for obvious reasons, to me at least. Some people were mad that he was there. But Will Smith was like, I'm paraphrasing, Quincy Jones changed my life. I don't know that you would know the name Will Smith if it wasn't for Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones was an executive producer on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's how you get from Will Smith the rapper, not that y'all don't know this, but Will Smith the rapper to Will Smith the TV star who becomes, action hero who held us down so many summers, but then also decades of entertainment. But people were mad that Will Smith was there because, the incident, there's no need to rehash it. We all saw it. We talked about it a whole bunch when it happened. But the incident at the Oscars, Will Smith is banned from the Oscars. I think he's banned from all Academy events. He's definitely banned from the Oscars for 10 years. So I think we're in year 3 of his ban. I don't think he'll go back, to be quite honest. But he showed up at the Grammys and people were very upset. They were like, well, why is he here? Like he's banned from the Oscar stage because he has no behavior. And so he shouldn't be at the Grammy stage. If one entertainment stage has banned him because of his behavior, then all should follow suit. And I was like, you tell me somebody like, and Kanye West wasn't even violent, but you tell me somebody like Kanye West, who has had multiple interruptions on various platforms over the years, you tell me somebody like Kanye is banned, I'd be like, well, okay, he's acted up on a few occasions. It's more than a one-off. We don't really know what he's going to do. We're going to set him outside. We're going to sit him down outside. I understand that. Not that I'm calling for Kanye to be banned. Although he was not invited to the Grammys and did show up with his wife, who I think is a hostage, They walked the red carpet. Again, not invited, but they showed up. Walked the red carpet. She had on a fur. He had on full clothes. Like, everything was covered except his face and hands. But she had on like a full fur. And I was like, how cold is it in LA? It's not that cold. But a full fur. And then she walks onto the red carpet with him. They're facing the camera. She turns around with her back to the camera. And then she drops her fur down. And she has on a completely nude dress with nothing underneath. Like, it's a nude sheer dress. And there's like, you can see everything with this, like the equivalent of like a nude stocking, if you will. And she kept pulling it down. And I was like, girl, like, we can see everything. Like, what are you pulling down? What are you trying to cover and hide? To me, that's kind of like a sign that she's not comfortable in what she has on. So she showed us her whole ass, and then she turned around and showed us her front. She has sizable breasts. And no underwear, fully shaved, because we could see everything. I think they're doing some kind of performance art, but I'm not really sure what it's trying to convey. And I'm all good for like an artistic expression, even a nude one. Like, I don't find offense or lewdness in the nude body. I think there's a time and a place for it. I would say like the Grammys carpet is not that, but it's not like deeply offensive. I think my concern about what she puts on is, or the lack of what she puts on, is she never really looks comfortable. Like, I remember Rihanna came on the red carpet once and she had on this, like, it was like a silver glittery gown down to the floor. Like, I want to say it was like a halter. And then she had like a matching like headscarf with it. It was a really beautiful look. But you could see, basically everything. But Rihanna showed up like looking like she wanted to parade herself. She wanted to show herself off. She looked happy and confident and in full control. And like, this was something she chose to do. She wanted to do. She decided, like, it's my body and I want to, put it on the glass. Like, it is what it is. But this woman, this wife, Bianca, she doesn't really look like she's confident. She doesn't really look like she wants to do it. And I don't know how to describe it because she doesn't really talk. She doesn't say anything. So we can't be like, well, she said, like, it just, I don't know. That's the feeling that I get looking at her. I mean, she very well may. Maybe her looking insecure is part of the performance art of it. I'm just like, could you explain the art to us? Because we don't get it. We just see your wife is naked and you walking around fully clothed with your naked wife, and we don't get why your wife is naked. Like, if you're trying to like send a message, if you're trying to make a statement, could you just like, I mean, any other time he want to sit on Twitter, because people were upset about his wife coming on the red carpet. There were rumors they got kicked off. I'll talk about that in a second. But people were talking about his wife, him and his wife unfavorably crashing the Grammys red carpet. And he tweeted something like, his wife is like the most Googled woman, most Googled name on Google. Everybody knows who she is. Like, she's like the most popular person on Google, something like that. And I was like, so why are you proud of this? Like, does this generate income for y'all in some way? Like, do sales go up when you parade your wife naked? Or when your wife parades naked? When she's naked, let's take the verbs with all the heavy implication out of it. When she is naked, when she appears naked in public, what do you get out of it? Like, is it sales? Is that it? Is it just, you just want like the Google hits? You want people to Google your wife's name? As my good friend Geneva likes to say, when folks are out here doing stuff, especially like crazy stuff, to get a whole bunch of attention, Geneva is always like, what is the point of sale? Like, you out here acting crazy. You out here putting your ass and your titties and your cho-cha. You putting your ass and your titties and your lower lips on display. Like, what is the point of sale? What are you doing this for? What are you getting out of this? And if it's just performance, again, please fill us in, because we are very confused as to what the purpose and the point is. We don't get it. We don't know. We don't know. None of this is the point. Actually, before I finish that, Kanye West, I don't know where he got this from, because I saw tons of people talking about it. Allegedly, Kanye was not invited to the Grammys, he and the wife, but they came on the red carpet. She drops her coat, shows off everything. And then it was reported, I don't even know who first said it. I just know it wasn't Don Lemon, but it was reported that they were kicked out of the Grammys. They were asked to leave, one, because they weren't invited. And then also because, your wife is naked on the red carpet and ungood. Okay. Kanye goes off on Don Lemon and calls him a coon for reporting that he got kicked out. So I guess he's saying that he didn't get kicked out, or they didn't get kicked out. I only really saw Don Lemon's clapback. Don Lemon without corporate backing. Free Don Lemon. Free Don Lemon sober is better than drunk Don Lemon on New Year's Eve. I know this sounds impossible, but it's true. It's like, oh, you got some dark liquor in you. You down in New Orleans. You just saying crazy stuff. We know you're going to get on CNN and apologize a couple days later. Sober Don Lemon on social media in his right mind with all his inhibitions intact and still just being reckless in the mouth. And I was like, I love this Don Lemon. We've come a long way, Don. We've come a long way. We don't need to go into back in the day. That was a long time ago, Dawn. You're a better person than you were, and I am too. We're going to move forward in the direction of calling a spade or calling a coon, because Kanye called Don Lemon a coon, and Don Lemon was like, no, I will not accept that. Not from you. Not from you. And he was like, is your MAGA hat too tight? It's like, Don. No, Don. But did he lie? I was like, there's a lot of people that can get away with being like, that's some coon shit. Like I say that about people on here sometimes. I'm like, you really did that shit? You really did that shit? Nelly, you saw Janelle Monae? You saw the clip from the Grammys after party when Janelle Monae, I heard about it before I saw it. So Janelle Monae goes to this Grammys after party. She gets on stage and she calls Nelly out for performing. And she says something like, I used to think you were cool. Now I think you're a motherfucking fool. Her freestyle wasn't really elegant. She's a great singer, great dancer, great performer. Like, rapping may not be her greatest forte, and that's okay. That's okay, because she's like a 15 out of 10 at everything else that she does. She called that man out. It was all over social media this morning, and then I finally saw the clip. I didn't realize that she was performing over a Nelly beat. And then furthermore, I didn't realize Nelly was in the crowd. Like, it's not like she just said some shit and, Nelly was somewhere else. Like, she said some shit and, like, Nelly was right there in the room. Like, the camera panned to him. He was looking like he wanted to take the microphone. He had some things to say, too. And I was like, sir, leave that smoke alone. Leave that smoke alone. You did what you did. You came out and justified it. Tried to justify it. You said it was an honor for the man that has canceled Black History Month, is trying to smear Martin Luther King, is blaming DEI for plane crashes, is trying to blame the blacks for everything, and reinstate slavery. I'm not going into the political stuff today. I just want to talk about the Grammys. But please Google, if you have the time, American prisoners, U.S. citizens, being deported to El Salvador to work on their highways for free. I was like, it's one thing to take El Salvadorians that you're saying are illegally in the country and put them through the proper due process and then send them in a humane manner back to El Salvador. They talk about just rounding up anybody and everybody that they're saying are quote unquote illegal or are criminals, including U.S. citizens, and sending them to El Salvador. The El Salvadorian president was like tweeting about this shit. And I was like, this is human trafficking. This is slavery. We're not going there today. We talking about the Grammys. But please do yourself a favor and Google it. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like taking a call on a train or bus on speaker for everyone to hear. Do you really want the whole train to know about your medical test results? I use a VPN because all of our traffic flows through their servers. Internet service providers, including mobile network providers, know every single website you visit. And in the U.S., ISPs are legally allowed to sell that information to advertisers. ExpressVPN reroutes 100% of your traffic through secure encrypted servers so your ISP can't see your browsing history. ExpressVPN is extremely easy to use. You just fire up the app and click one button to get protected. And my favorite, it works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay private on the go. And ExpressVPN is rated #1 by top tech reviewers like CNET and The Verge. I use ExpressVPN on all my devices at all times, whether I'm home or abroad. As much to protect my devices from prying eyes, but also I want to watch my favorite shows in other countries, and I can only do that with ExpressVPN. Protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/ratchet. That's expressvpn.com/ratchet. And you can get an extra 4 months free. expressvpn.com/ratchet. What were we talking about? Will Smith, that's how we got off on this tangent. Will Smith did his tribute. By all accounts, nothing happened. It was very honorable. Will was lovely in the tribute. He was heartfelt. He called Quincy Jones something like his, I don't even think he said a father figure. I think he said like another father, a secondary father. But he, was very praiseworthy and humble with good cause about his relationship with Quincy Jones. Stevie Wonder performed. Stevie Wonder always performs. Stevie Wonder been around since the beginning of time. He gonna outlive everybody. That's fine. He got to feel a way about that, though. Like seeing people come and go. I thought about that when he was performing at Whitney's funeral. And I was like, he's seen a lot of people come and a lot of people go, and he's still here. That's got to sit with him sometimes. Many people asked, they were like, so Tevin Campbell and Tamia, were they not available? Are they on tour? Tamia actually might be on tour. Tevin, I don't know. But people are like, well, where are they? Because I'm like, Quincy Jones has many proteges, but they probably should have been there. Cynthia Erivo, she did a cover of Fly Me to the Moon, the old Frank Sinatra song. I remember when I was in college, I was like super broke when I was living in London, but they had a Virgin Records. And when I had a little extra money, I would buy like these chill out mixes because that's what they would play in like all the, I don't know, coffee shops or whatever. It was like the sound of London to me. So I would buy like these chill out mixes, like double CDs. And there was a remix of, I don't know, some random British singer singing Fly Me to the Moon. And like, I just really loved the song. And then like years later, I was at the house and my dad put on, I don't know, somebody's version because 50 million people have covered Fly Me to the Moon. But my dad put the song on. The intro comes on and I recognize it. And then like, the lyrics drop and like we both start singing and we looked at each other like, how do you know that? Like, I'm thinking it's like some kind of new song. I didn't know anything about Frank Sinatra at that age. But I was like, oh, so-and-so sings it. And he was like, that's not his song. I think it is a Frank Sinatra song. Or maybe it's like one of those situations where like, Luther covers Dionne Warwick and then like takes the song and nobody remembers that Dionne Warwick used to sing it. Then you hear like Dionne Warwick singing her own damn song and be like, oh, that's Luther. Don't know. No. She's the original House is not a home. A chair is still a chair. That's not the point. The point is Cynthia Erivo sang Fly Me to the Moon and she just owned it. Her voice, she is such an amazingly talented woman. I said at the beginning of the episode, like, I'm over it. Whatever little beef, my one-sided beef with Cynthia Erivo, I'm going to let it go. We're just going to start fresh. It's too much going on right now to hold on to it. So we're going to start fresh. If she don't say nothing else crazy, we're just going to pretend she never said anything crazy to begin with. I'll tell you why. When Album of the Year is being read, they've named the nominees, and they're waiting for this woman. I think she's a firefighter in LA because the Grammys honored them. But she has the envelope and she's taking her sweet time. She's nervous, bless her heart. She's taking her sweet time opening the envelope. And there's an overhead shot where you can see where Beyonce, Jay-Z, Blue are all sitting at a table. Cynthia Erivo is like behind them to the right. And then at a table very near to her, Lady Gaga is sitting, kind of like right behind Jay-Z. And as they're waiting for the name to be read, Cynthia Erivo reaches out and she takes Gaga's hand and they hold hands and kind of like brace for whoever the winner is. And the firefighter, she stumbles over saying Cowboy Carter. Everyone takes a beat. They realize it's Beyonce. And then like Cynthia goes up. Gaga goes up. I mean, literally out their chairs. They go up. Everybody goes up. Taylor Swift goes up with a glass in her hand. I think she was drunk at the Grammys. I ain't mad at her. I mean, whatever. The way she was dancing, I was like, oh, your new white boyfriend got some rhythm from his ex-black girlfriend because she was like throwing it around. And I was like, Taylor, I didn't know you had it in you, sis. I'm not a Swiftie. I ain't got no hate for the lady. I don't really know nothing about her. But I was like, oh, Taylor. Who knew? I mean, I guess like her millions of fans, but I didn't know. I'm just saying. But like everybody goes up. Cynthia Erivo going up for Beyonce like that. Like everybody was happy, but she was just like happy OD. And I was like, you know what? There's good there. We're going to look at the good instead of looking at, what might be ungood. I'm saying we, but I mean me. If you want to hold on to it, that's you. I'm just saying me. I see a lot of good. I see a lot of talent. To my knowledge, she ain't said nothing stupid in like a few years. So we just going to focus. I'm going to focus on the good with her. She sang her ass off on the Quincy Jones tribute. I mean, every time she sings her ass off. That ain't nothing new. But still, nevertheless, I'm still like wowed like every time. She was singing, Queen Latifah don't really react to much. Like she's very nice. She's very calm. But she don't really like, get real too excited. Like, she acts queenly. She acts like royalty. But, like, Cynthia Erivo was singing, and, like, Queen Latifah came up out her seat. And I was just like, yes, I get it. I get it. It's a beautiful tribute. Janelle Monae did the Michael Jackson tribute. That is just an insanely talented woman. She's like bite-sized too. Like, I'm 5'2", and I feel like I tower over her. Just immensely, insanely talented with amazing hair. Nikki Nelms does her hair. I love me some Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Because every time I mention somebody on this podcast, apparently y'all go back and tell them, like, oh, Demetria talked about you on the podcast. So that's how I know if I say crazy shit, you go tell them I say crazy shit. But you do tell people when I say nice things about them. I was DMing with Francesca Ramsey earlier today. It's so stupid. A bunch of Venezuelans voted MAGA because they believed 47 when he told them, if you're in process or you came through some program, then, you'll never be deported. Like, you're good. Don't worry about it. Like, even though, their fellow Venezuelan friends who have, exited the country for the same bullshit they did, they were like, well, fuck them. We voting for Trump. So now, obviously, they're just like, nah, everybody can get the fuck out. So there's an interview that's going around where this woman, Venezuelan woman, it was just like, we believed him when he said that, we were good and nothing would happen. We feel like he used us. We feel like he lied to us. Like, I don't want to make it political. Ma'am, you're talking about a politician who lied to you. It's very political. You getting kicked out is politics. And it's no, like, I feel, no, not you feel. He did. But there's this little, apparently this thing is super popular. I've never seen it, but it is, I don't know if the specific people in the video are Venezuelan. They are Latino people, but it's like a band, and they got what I would call congos. I don't know if that's the right name for them. They might call them something different. And they're like, they're real excited. They're like, vote for Donald Trump. Vote for Donald Trump. But the beat is real sassy and catchy. So I sent it to Francesca, and I was like, girl, I know you got so much on your plate right now. I know you have better shit to do than figure out how to make this beat on your ukulele when you do the Lepers Eat the Face song. But can you try? And she was like, I just met with a mariachi band. And I was like, see, look at the Lord. Look how the good Lord works. Am I supposed to feel bad? I don't. I feel very bad for the people who didn't vote for 47 and are being subjected to absolute lunacy. But if you voted for 47, especially if you're a person of color or a woman, if you voted for him and now you're just like, but wait, these DEI practices are affecting me. What do you mean you're kicking everybody out, whether they're through a certain process or people you said were safe, but now they're not safe? What do you mean? He means that he lied and your ass about to get deported. I don't feel bad for you. The people who were like, no, I can't have this. Let's vote for the black lady because I'm trying to stay. You, I feel bad for. I feel really bad for you. But the lady in the video, he lied to us. You believe that bullshit, lady? You did. You fucked around. And now you're finding out. It is what it is. When we're trying to make progress, life's curveballs often feel like taking one step forward and two steps back. A Chime checking account makes financial progress easier with features like no maintenance fees, fee-free overdraft up to $200, or getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Learn more at chime.com/ratchet. With Chime, you're joining a community with millions of members who are working on financial progress. Chime helps you make progress with fee-free overdraft up to $200. Your next deposit is applied to your balance. Get spotted on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. To date, Chime has spotted over $30 billion. And my favorite part about Chime, they make it easy to access your money with over 50,000 fee-free ATMs. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/ratchet. That's chime.com/ratchet. Chime feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank North America or Stride Bank North America. Members FDIC. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in SpotMe and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-state network ATMs. What else for the Grammys? Quincy, Janelle Monae. She did the Michael Jackson tribute. Everything she does is great. Kind of like Cynthia Erivo. Like, they brought her in for a reason. Oh, we didn't talk about Willow and Jaden. They weren't awarded for anything, but they were at the Grammys. I'm going to go ahead and guess because their dad was presenting. Willow had on essentially underwear, like a bra top and some panties, like little panties, not even like big draws, like little panties with like a long jacket over it. If she showed up by herself, I wouldn't really think much about it. But it was just weird, like seeing her walk around with her dad. And I was like, Will don't really play that shit, does he? She is full grown. Still, I don't know. Like just a bra and panties as a whole outfit, like around your dad. Like it's one thing if you're like at the beach, because then it's a swimsuit. But like at the Grammys, I don't know. She looked like she owned the outfit. She looked confident. She looked happy. She looked like she put it on by choice. She looked like she was forced to wear it. I care a lot less about that than I do about what Kanye's wife got on, which I still ain't giving like a whole bunch of thought to. I'm just like, it's just weird. Beyonce, who infamously was not nominated for any CMAs. We talked about that when it happened. And then when the Grammy noms came out, we talked about that when it happened because she was nominated. Cowboy Carter, her non-country album that received absolutely 0 CMA awards, country music awards, somehow gets nominated for 11 Grammys. Just as a musician, I mean, I'm sure like the country awards like matter like a whole bunch like to, country music artists, like and they should. But I was like, I just feel like Grammys matter a whole lot more. It's not like she got 1 nod for a Grammy for Cowboy Carter. She got like 11, like the most out of all the people who were nominated for Grammys. I was like, you don't see something. I mean, of course you do. You do. You see it. It's just racist. Okay. So Beyonce wins Country Album of the Year. She was in complete shock, which I hated for her. Which I really hated for her. Like, people were like, oh, Beyonce, she was acting. And I was like, look, don't come for me. Don't come for me. Beyonce is many amazing things. Like we said about Janelle Monae and her rapping. And we were like, you know what? She's a 15 out of 10 on everything else that she does. Everybody got to take an L in some facet, right? Acting, she is not a 15 or a 10 or a 6. So she definitely was not acting. She was in genuine shock. And I feel a way about her being in genuine shock because she is, by many, many metrics, the premier artist of her generation. Hence why she got all them damn Grammy nominations. But she is like one of the most talented performers alive. At this point in her career, definitely be humble. Don't go into someplace entitled thinking you deserve to win something. Like, absolutely not that. But that she was so incredibly shocked that she won a country music award when so many people love this album, when it's been nominated for 11 awards. Like, it should have been, of course she won the country music award. Be gracious, be humble, yes. But like, she was literally in shock. And it's because she and so many other Black folk have been shitted on despite being great. That you really can never really tell. Like, I know I've made like the greatest album of my life. Like, when you made some hot shit, right? But like, she made hot shit that she knew was hot shit. And then like, she doesn't get 1 country music award. And that's gotta make you question, like, was it good? Like, y'all hated it that much? Or you hate me that much? That like nothing? To the point that when someone actually does like right by you, the things that they're supposed to do by you, like it leaves you in shock. Like, wow, someone actually did the right thing. Like someone actually sees me, appreciates me, recognizes my creation, my talent, my work. And it's so unexpected because you done dealt with so much shit that it leaves you like, huh? Like Blue had to be like, girl, get up. She manages her parents so well. So well. Because Beyonce was just sitting there, like, just looking crazy. I was like, ma'am, you are being a meme in real life time. Same thing happens when Beyonce wins Album of the Year. She didn't expect to win because she's been nominated for it sometimes, but she's never won it. There was an argument, healthy discussion, debate, I should say, online earlier today about which other Beyonce album should have won Album of the Year. A bunch of people said Renaissance. Renaissance wasn't my album. I don't have nothing negative to say about Renaissance because I don't want the smoke. And I mean like smoke, not even from strangers, like from my inner circle. They talked about me so bad for not loving that album. I went to the concert. It was lovely. That was the first time I heard Renaissance in its entirety and the last time. Oh, that's not true. I watched the bootleg of the documentary. That's the second time I heard Renaissance. I haven't listened to it since. It's just not my vibe. And that's fine. No judgment. Judgment free. I was like, the obvious answer is Lemonade, because Adele won the year Lemonade came out, and Adele got on stage and was like, hey, this isn't right. I shouldn't win. Beyonce's Lemonade is like the greatest album I've ever heard. I love it. All my Black friends love it. What you've done for everyone is like amazing. Like, you are like super talented. Like, y'all gave me this Grammy, but this really belongs to Beyonce. She shamed the fuck out of the Academy and became like instantly lovable. And I was like, come on and be an ally, Adele. Come on and be an ally. Lemonade should have won. That's when I really, really got into Beyonce. Like, before that, I was just like, I like a song here, a song there. Lemonade is when I was like, okay, so y'all have the meetings on the 4th of the month at 4:00. I'm not going to go. I'm not that far into the Beehive, but I get it. After Cowboy Carter, I may show up on the 4th at 4. I love that album. By far my favorite Beyonce album. I cried. I cried when she won. Just because I know she worked so goddamn hard and she's been overlooked for so long. I was going to say every Black woman, but I think everybody who gets referred to as DEI, in some capacity, you know what that feels like. To like put your best foot forward. Didn't we just talk about this on the Rest Revolution, the gaslighting of it all? I love me some Amanda Littlejohn. That conversation, that book, themes from it keep coming up in my life in various aspects. Like, I keep going back to that book and our conversation. When Amanda was on, we talked about how like people sometimes have imposter syndrome because, like, you know, they do great work and then people treat it like it's mediocre or like their greatness isn't really a big deal. And you're like, oh, okay, like I thought I was knocking it out the park, but apparently not, because nobody says good job or well done or we see you, we appreciate you. So you don't really feel like you matter, or you don't feel like you're doing the thing that you do. Like, I hope that Beyonce hears that. I know there's somebody listening right now and like, Demetria, please, it's Beyonce. But like, you'd be surprised of the people who are very, very accomplished, very, very successful that, you know, people look up to, that you have private conversations with, and they're just like, I just feel like I'm failing at everything. I could name you some names that you would know. If you haven't picked up yet, like, I'm kind of a vault. It's a professional habit, but also just in a matter of character. Lots of people tell me lots of shit. Or just speaking for myself, like, lots of shit happens and I won't say anything for like months, years. This woman wrote in and she was like, I'm sorry, did you sit on that Harlem thing? That you worked on Harlem? Did you really sit on that for like 2 years? Even though you do a podcast like twice a week for years and you just never said anything. And I was like, no, they told me not to. Why would I do that? You don't betray people's trust like that. They ask you not to say shit, you don't say shit. That's just me. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Every January brings you 365 blank pages waiting to be filled. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist, or maybe there's a part of your story you've been wanting to revise. Life isn't about resolutions that fade by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own life. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create meaningful story that you deserve to live. You listen to this podcast, so you know I am a huge advocate of therapy. I think everyone should get some, including the people that think they don't need it. You, my friend, you may need it the most. BetterHelp makes it easy to get therapy, which I love. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, and serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists anytime at no cost. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/ratchet today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ratchet. I'm going to let you in on a secret. I've always wanted to be a poet. So I was excited to see Amanda Gorman has a class all about it on Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's best. For just $10 a month billed annually, a membership with Masterclass gets you unlimited access to every instructor. And you can access Masterclass on your phone, computer, smart TV, or even audio mode. I'm currently taking Amanda Gorman's class to learn the fundamentals of poetry, but there's so much more. You can bring your dream home to life on any budget with Joanna Gaines. Improve your physical and mental well-being with leading gut and brain health experts, and turn your passion into achievement with cultural icon Martha Stewart. And the classes really make a difference. 88% of members feel that Masterclass has made a positive impact on their lives. I've been taking Masterclass for years. Before I could afford to go to TV classes, I learned the fundamentals of TV writing from Masterclass. Every new Masterclass membership comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So don't wait another moment to start your learning journey with Masterclass. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/ratchet. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/ratchet. Masterclass.com/ratchet. I was going to say something else. Oh, about Blue Blue. They complained about her dress this time, too. And I was like, if y'all don't leave that little fairy princess alone, that little girl is a whole real-life Disney princess. But she's still very much a baby. Like, I don't even know if Blue is 13 yet. She's not even in high school. And folks will drag her. Like, oh, she has on so much makeup and she looks like they call her names that nobody should use for women, but certainly not a girl. I hate people. But I love Blue. The firefighter calls her name for Album of the Year, and Beyonce is just stuck. She has enough together to hug Blue, and then she hugs Jay, and then she's kind of just like there, and Blue just like takes her by the hand, like, girl, come on, and leads her to the stage. I'm surprised Blue went up on that stage after what Jay-Z did last year. Remember Jay-Z got on stage and called out the Grammys? He called Beyonce. He was like, young lady. I was like, you mean your wife? Whatever. But he was like, this young lady is the most nominated person ever, and definitely in this room. And she has never won Album of the Year in all these years. Like, that is not right. And Blue was just standing there. I was like, you knew you was going to go rogue like that. Why you have Blue up there? She still could have been sitting at the table without the cameras trained on her for you to defend her mama. Like, yes, I think it's very important that Blue sees her father stand up for her mother. That's very good. He's setting a great example in that way. If I was Blue, I'd be like, look, y'all be going rogue when I'm nearby. Like, don't put me in these positions no more. I made a joke online. I was like, yo, Blue be getting them together. I'm like, that's not even her job. She just came to enjoy the show. And people were like, Blue has been the momager since day one. People were saying the oldest daughter is always running the family. Like, there's no way around it. As the oldest daughter, Blue is automatically in charge of everybody. And I was like, well, it seems that is the case. She seems to be doing a good job. What's going on with that Jay-Z case? It's not resolved yet. It's still ongoing. I want better for him. I don't think he did that. The woman's story, we talked about that. The woman's story just didn't line up. Like her own daddy, because she was like, oh, I ran out of the house naked. I went to a gas station. I called my father to come get me. He did. And the father was like, I have no recollection of this. He was like, it would have been a 5-hour drive. He was like, I definitely would have remembered that happening. He was like, not to my knowledge. I was like, your own daddy won't back your story? But I did see today, like, Diddy got sued again by a man. He said Diddy assaulted him, I think, in 2015. Oh, you also saw, this is not Grammy related. I'm only bringing it up because I mentioned Diddy. Eric Adams, Mayor Eric from New York. Here it is on Reuters. Eric Adams, this is from January 29th. Senior Justice Department officials and federal prosecutors in Manhattan have held talks about dropping the corruption case against New York Mayor Eric Adams. That's according to the New York Times. They said he's set for a criminal trial in April on federal charges of corruption. We read his indictment. He did everything they said he did. And I know it for sure because he documented everything he did on his phone, including somebody being like, hey, is it safe to talk on the phone? Like, because the things we're discussing are illegal. And he was like, nah, I'm just going to erase the text. Nigga. Let me see. I'm reading this on Politico. It says dropping criminal charges against Mayor Eric Adams as opposed to pardoning him could spawn a historic legal precedent clarifying checks and balances on presidential power at a time of increased partisanship at the Department of Justice. And it's because Adams has already been indicted. The Trump administration must ask the court's permission to drop the case. And then there's an open question of how much discretion the judge and the judicial branch would have to push back. I'm confused. Why doesn't he just pardon him? Like, I was under the impression that in order to be pardoned, like your case had to go through, you had to be convicted, and then the president could pardon you. But it is my understanding, because when Biden left, like he pardoned Fauci and like some other people that were involved in the January 6th investigations, so Trump couldn't come back after them. And they were never convicted or charged with anything. So I don't understand why Trump wouldn't just like pardon Eric Adams. And he could, because it's a federal case. I don't know what the logic is or the legality is of choosing to drop it as opposed to just doing a pardon. I feel like the pardon would just be easier for everybody. But I don't really understand most of what this administration does, so that won't be new. But I've said some version of this before, and I was like, this Eric Adams case is never going to see the light of day. I said it months ago, and people started sending me this article. It's not something I want to be right about, but certain shit I just know. It is known. Remember Game of Thrones, the Dothraki? It is known. It is known. This Eric Adams trial is never going to happen. I bring up Eric Adams while we're talking about Diddy because also this Diddy trial is never going to happen. I'll give myself a 20% possibility of being wrong on that, but I strongly believe that this Diddy trial is not going to happen. I miss Day-Day. The U.S. attorney, Damian Williams, who brought the charges against Diddy, I don't think they want Day-Day to have that kind of win. Even if he's not the U.S. attorney anymore, but just because he was once the U.S. attorney, he brought the charges. I just don't think they want the black guy to have the win. And so they're going to let Diddy go. Pardon, whatever. The Diddy trial is never going to happen. More than likely. Is there anything else from the Grammys? Oh, Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys was at the Grammys. She got the Dr. Dre Award, I think, for her musical. It might be a wonderful musical. It really might. It's been around for a minute. I imagine it's doing well because it's still running. But I haven't seen it. When I'm headed to New York and I'm asking people like, oh, what should I see? What should I see? No one ever says like, girl, you got to see Hell's Kitchen. I can't give it a review at all because I haven't seen it. If you've seen it and you like it, you let me know. I'm still not going to see it. But I would just like to know that, people are enjoying it. People are enjoying it. It's been around for a while. Alicia Keys Grammy Award. What exact award did she win? Musical theater album. She gave a really good speech. Like DEI is a gift, I think she said. I'm reading this on thehill.com. They quote her as saying, "This is not the time to shut down a diversity of voices. We've seen on this stage talented, hardworking people from different backgrounds with different points of view, and it changes the game." And yes, it was the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. She says DEI is not a threat, it is a gift. And the more voices, the more powerful the sound. Yes, I agree, Alicia. I agree. One last thing, let me look it up because I remember somebody sending it to me. She was like, nobody's talking about her. And I was like, okay, calm down. Okay, hold on. Roxanne Shante, hip hop icon. Roxanne. She won a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Was this aired? I told you I slept through the first part. Ms. Magazine points out that she is the first solo female rapper to receive this recognition. I'm not crazy. She received the award at the Special Merit Awards ceremony one day before the official Grammy. So maybe that's why people aren't talking about it. But I want to shout out Roxanne Shante and congratulate her on her win. Let's see what she says in this speech because the pull quote is good. She's quoted as saying, if you're true to yourself, even if you walk away with nothing, this is a word. This is a word. If you're true to yourself, even if you walk away with nothing, you have everything. This is true. This part of the reason I was like wandering around Belize for so long. I had to go sit by water and listen to the waves. I was trying to sort through something that it would have been easier to say yes to, but my mind was telling me no. And God kept telling me no. And I was like, are you sure, God? Like, it was a very clear, like, nah, don't do this. And I was like, but God, are you sure? Like, are you sure you're sure? I kept asking God, I was like, can you send me signs? He sent like 10 signs. And then I was like, just every morning, I was like, just like one more. I came home and like sent the email that I needed to send, at which point, like, everyone freaked out. But that's a whole separate story. And the issue has been resolved in a manner that I feel respected and appreciated and works best for everyone, because it was just about to be a headache all the way around. But I was like, God said say no. And then when they came back, I was like, can I say yes, God? Like, because this works. It was like, go on ahead. Is God like that with you? Is God casual with you? Or do you have like a formal relationship?
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
Next on Metro's Nada Yada Island podcast.
I almost fainted when the 4 new bombshells arrived. 4 free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G phones at Metro.
No way.
And finding out the 4th line is free. Oh, things got heated.
That's wild. Join Metro and get 4 free Samsung 5G phones. Only at Metro.
Plus tax. Bring 4 numbers and an ID and sign up for any Metro Flex plan. Not available currently at T-Mobile or been with Metro in the past 180 days.
2 more things. There's a Black Bachelor. I'm not recapping The Bachelor. I just don't find it interesting enough to do. I did it for the first woman, Rachel, Sister Rachel. But I did it for Rachel because, she's a Black woman. I'm like, no matter who she picks, a Black woman wins. Well, a Black woman got married because that husband, you know what? Let it go. She had to pay that man a whole lot of money. And I was like, that's just a percentage of what you're making, girl? Rachel is big money. I'm a DM her, ask her if I can hold $5. Mind you, I do not know this woman, like, at all. I listen to her podcast, though. I like her and Van. The Black Bachelor. Who is the Bachelor? Grant Ellis. Forbes. Forbes is covering the Bachelor. Well, wonders never cease. He's really cute. One of my friends would call him cinnamon cookie colored. The woman who told me about it, I was like, I'm not watching. Because every episode of The Bachelor was like 2 hours. And I was like, I don't have this kind of time in my life. And she was like, well, I'll watch and see. And then she came back and was like, abandoned, no Bachelor. And I was like, oh. She said there wasn't enough range in the women. Not enough women of deeper hues. And then she said he was just tonguing everybody down and she was disgusted. And I was like, I mean, that's kind of The Bachelor. He currently lives in Houston, Texas. He's 31 years old. He says his mom secretly signed him up for The Bachelorette. That's how he got introduced to the franchise. He did The Bachelorette and obviously didn't make a match. And then now he's The Bachelor. I haven't seen pictures of his parents, but I've seen pictures of his sister. They look like they have 2 Black parents. Double Black. I need to put that on the shirt. I said I was going to do that. He says, quote, I want to be happy. I want a wife. I want to be in love. I want to give everything to somebody, and I want them to give everything to me in return. Okay. He's really cute. He either has braces or amazing genes. His teeth are really straight. I'm a teeth person. You know this. He was a 6-foot guard when he played basketball overseas in DR. After he ended his basketball career, he worked as a day trader. He said, the first 3 years, I lost everything that I had in the market, but I stuck at it. It's a process that tests who you are. It tests your resilience and your ability to weather the storm. Why does that sound so much like gambling? They're only on week 2. So if you're interested in The Bachelor, you want to see at least a Black man in love. Can we look at the contestants? Is there like a roundup? Meet the 25 women chosen for Grant Ellis. Oh, okay. They're cute. They're cute. I'm scrolling down. I'm on like the 10th person of the Black girls. Nobody's darker than a paper bag. Not one. Beautiful women. Beautiful women. I would be considered dark. Every single one of them looks like a model. They all have straight hair that hits them at the boobs, except one. She has big puffy hair. There's one girl with braids. I'm almost to the end. There's one actual brown girl, Serafina. All the Black women, except for Serafina, are cinnamon cookie colored. I see why the woman who wrote in and was like, hey, can we take a look? Can we see? Thank you, sis. It was a good recommendation. But I also think, when she took a look and came back and was like, abandon, abort. Yeah, that was a good call, too. Well, all right. Like, we looked, we saw, we moved on. I wish everyone the best. No hate, except for the producers. Like, y'all can only find, like, one visibly brown Black woman in America? Oh, this is not good Black news. It's actually very sad news. Because I really wanted to know what happened next. And I was like, wait, y'all just cut my show? Kelly. Remember Kelly from Insecure? Growth. In real life, her name is Natasha. Since Natasha Rockwell, Natasha. I just be knowing folks by their first name. They're friends in my head. I don't always know. Natasha Rothwell. Close. I was close. Her show got canceled. How to Die Alone? It was a good show. She's a little off. But I liked her version of off. She got like, it's an odd sense of humor, but it works. Very unpredictable. Everything that happened on that show, none of it did I see coming. But yeah, her show got canceled. They just announced it today. How to Die Alone. That was the name of the show. Apparently, she had no clue because she said it was I'll read you what she wrote. She posted this on her social media. She wrote, I am shocked, heartbroken, and frankly baffled that Onyx has decided not to move forward with the second season of How to Die Alone. But Miss Kelly, look, it's like a Ralph Angel situation. He on a whole new show on Harlem. Technically, his name is Seth on the show. But I was like, sir, we met you as Ralph Angel. You was Ralph Angel for like 5 years. Now you want to go like be somebody else? Let's go back to Natasha. Kelly. You know who I mean. I'm shocked, heartbroken, and frankly baffled that Onyx has decided not to move forward with the second season of How to Die Alone. This is a tough reality to accept because the show is an undeniable, critical, creative, and award-winning success. I think I read earlier it's up for 2 or 3 NAACP awards, like the awards that happen, like, I don't know, a couple weeks from now. She says, this show took me 8 years to bring to life, and if there's one thing I've learned in that time, it's resilience. My team and I are committed to finding How to Die Alone a new home because stories like this matter. She continues, now more than ever, television that amplifies previously unheard voices and that prioritizes hiring and casting decisions that accurately reflect the diversity of the world is essential. Representation isn't just about visibility. It's about ensuring that our stories, our existence, and our cultural contributions are not erased. As Maya Angelou so wisely said, you may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. Let's repeat that. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. I think I'm going to write that down. You know, I keep quotes all over my wall, kind of like Mary Jane and her Post-its, but I can't do all those colors and whatnot. They're just white with black ink in a very specific pen. I'm kind of neurotic that way. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you know who you are, what you can rise from, how you can still come out of it. Facts. That's true. I'm a living testament. Like Doechii said, I am a living testament. I am a living testament of this. And in closing, Kelly says, we are rising and we are not done. I like that show. And I want to know what happened next. Because she was supposed to get on a plane to Hawaii to see her ex get married. Maybe. That ending was didn't she get arrested? Like in the final scene of the show? They can't leave us hanging like that. Oh, dear Natasha, I hope you get a new show. I'm going to say this, and I don't mean it no kind of ways, in any kind of bad ways whatsoever. I'm genuinely saddened by the cancellation of her show. It was a great show. I love it when writers get mad because they get in their feelings with their good word. This was excellently worded. I don't mean to critique her writing at this time, but just as a writer reading her words, I'm like, this is some good writing. Just, it's how my mind works. I'm sorry. I don't mean no kind of bad ways about it. All right, that's the episode. And that's that. We'll be back on Friday. Talk soon. Thank you for listening. Bye.